Hello and welcome to Reds fans. Once again, I'm delighted to say on the line we've got another player joining us, and it's Crawley Town legend Dannie Bulman. How are you doing, Danny?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We've had so many questions coming in from the fans today. I'm just going to kick it off and go straight into the Q&A from them. Kenny Cummings started it off, and he said, "How have you been keeping busy during lockdown?"
Well, I've got a 3-year-old son, Luca. He's hard work, so that's most of my time. But I've been restoring bikes. BMX's got a couple of choppers, old school choppers. Just trying to keep busy, basically.
Yeah, is that a little passion away from football of yours then?
No, just something to keep me ticking over. Stops me talking to the missus.
Yeah.
Stop throttling her. So keeps me
All
busy.
right. Yeah, I'm sure we all need something to cast our minds to. Enrique Suarez McLeod said, "Did you always want to come back to Crawley after you joined AFC Wimbledon?"
Yeah, I didn't want to leave in the first place when I did leave under John Gregory. But there was a few of us that season that left. I think Michael Jones, Proctor, Nicky Adams, and almost made it near on impossible to stay. So yeah, I had to look elsewhere and had quite a successful stint at AFC Wimbledon. Plastics, as you guys call them, I think.
Yeah, that was more of the remarks from the fans there in that case. Enrique also went on to say, "What was your favourite moment of this season, personally?" Obviously, cut short.
I think obviously not the result, but my strike against Colchester in the Carabao Cup. But yeah, that's my personal sort of only goal of the season, but half decent one. And that was the highlight of the night, and went downhill from then about 30 seconds later. So, but apart from that, probably just the cup one, really.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's something that fans definitely take away from this season. Liam Green's question is next. He said, "Did you think when you signed for the club that you'd still be playing there in the year 2020?"
Yeah, because I'm a kid at heart. You ask any of the players, I'm still the same. Sort of got the same attitude as I did as a young lad, and it's a great job to have, and I want to keep it for as long as possible. So hopefully, I can notch up a few more appearances.
Similar to the last question, Liam also added, "What's your favourite moment, but at the club in your whole experience?"
Yeah, obviously you're going to go back to maybe the FA Cup run at Manchester United, but it was just, I think that whole season was just amazing. I've seen the interviews with the likes of Torres and Scotty Nielsen, and it was just a fun place to be. It helps that you're winning every week and brushing away sides left, right, and centre. But the whole just atmosphere. Obviously, you had Steve Evans, who's as crazy as a box of frogs, and you just didn't know what you was going to get day in, day out. And there's always something happening. There's always banter flying about. We had so many big characters, and I think that's what got us to where we were. Promotion after promotion, and I've not experienced it in my career. Such a good, tight-knitted squad that were professional, but yet like to let their hair down as well and have a good time. And it was just, we worked hard on the pitch and worked hard off the pitch, and that's what created such a great bond.
Yeah, just the perfect environment. I'm sure Steve Evans that would have been a dream of his to create something like that. Next person who gets in touch, someone you'll know, Paul Hayward, and he said it's quite a specific question. He asked, "Do you remember his Muhammad Ali motivational speech before the Barnet game?" And he wants to know, was it bad, or what you thought of it?
But to be fair, I think you're asking the wrong person to comment on that, because if anyone talks, I think it's funny as hell anyway. And like, especially when he's coming in and he's trying to motivate the team, this, that, and the other, and it was just totally eclipsed by Scotty Nielsen doing the "Come on Everybody" Steve Evans song. So yeah, that got sort of swept under the carpet, because we had Scotty Nielsen and the whole team jumping up and down moments after. But yeah, I do remember it, and it was very funny. I'm sure it wasn't meant to be, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure he'll be glad to hear that. Alan Harper comes in with the next question, and obviously as a player that's had such a successful time in the FA Cup, he wants to know, what was your favourite FA Cup run, whether it was with Wycombe Wanderers, where you got all the way to the semi-final, I believe, or Crawley Town. And yeah, he just said, be honest, he's not going to be bothered if you don't pick Crawley.
Yeah, I think I've got to go with the semi-final. You know, not many players at my level, with my quality, basically, can say that they've got so far in the FA Cup. You know, and it was so special. That happened quite early in my career, and obviously going to Man United was a big game for us. But to get to a semi-final, it's just one step away from, it weren't Wembley at the time, but it was at Cardiff. But you know, a final, and to say that I got to a semi-final, especially in the FA Cup, that's a big achievement for me and the boys that played in it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Mark comes in with the next question, and he wants to know something more off the pitch. He said, what's the funniest training ground incident that you've experienced?
Oh, Jesus. I couldn't pinpoint one. There's been so many. You know, that we've had Claude, what was his name, the big centre half?
Claude Davies.
Had him try and fight John Akinde with a football boot. That was quite funny. Scott Davis walking off the same sort of time as that, because the gaffer had to go at him. That was all in Portugal. But I don't know, probably something that John Dempster done, because John Dempster was the funniest geezer I've ever met in my life. He was just, everything that came out of him was gold. And he was a joy to be around. He looked like a substitute teacher, but he was one of the funniest geezers that I've ever played with. And I couldn't pinpoint one that stands out, but I'll have a think about it and put it on Twitter.
All right, wicked. Yeah. A few people have said that. John Dempster was a bit of a joker in the pack. JP comes in with the next question, and he said, "How long until you retire?" Because he feels you could play for another 10 years.
Oh, that's very, very kind of him. Who knows? I think I've been very, very fortunate that I've not had injuries, big injuries. My knees are fine, joints are fine. So realistically, probably my last year. So we'll see. Who knows? You never know. But players drop down and play until they they can't walk anymore. So I'm not far off walking at my pace anyway. So we'll see.
All right, good to hear. And John Lucy also said he's recently watched a video of you playing in that FA Cup semi-final for Wycombe Wanderers. He said you looked exactly the same as you do now, and he wants to know what's your secret to eternal youth, as he put it.
Yeah, I think I looked the same. I had a skinhead back then, which was terrible, and never again. I moisturise every day. I did that from a young age. Probably that's back to my mother care modelling days. Don't know about that. And I just love it. I love football. It's the best job in the world. That's what keeps me young, keeps me fit. And that's all I can say, really.
All right. Jed Jones comes in the next question. He wants to know, do you have a new contract offer at the club at the moment?
No, we're talking at the moment, and obviously what's been going on in the world is holding a few things. So just waiting to hear. I'm not putting pressure on the club or anything like that. They'll come to me when they're good and ready, and they know where I am, and I'm not going anywhere. So hopefully get something sorted very soon.
Yeah. All right. Good. Well, we look forward to hearing some progress in that department. Jed also added, if you were to have a testimonial, who would you like the opposition to be?
Oh, I don't know. I spoke about it on a podcast. I wouldn't mind two Crawley teams, like today's team, and maybe some throwbacks. Get the good old guys back, get the crazy gang back, and just so we can have a good old piss up with them, basically, and just reminisce over our old times. Maybe Steve Evans can come back and manage it. Who knows?
Yeah, oh no, that would be a very good spectacle. Who would you like to say you're playing in one of the current Crawley team in that sort of fantasy game for now, I suppose? Who would you look forward to coming up against in the middle of the park?
Let's say that again, sorry.
So who would you look forward to come up playing against if you had the older Crawley former players coming up in one of the teams in the testimonial?
In the middle of the park, Torres, but he's not really a midfielder, is he? He's just all hair. He's not even Argentinian. I've got to let you know. He's actually from Essex. His name's Simon Jarvis. He just made this whole persona up to sell stupid books and do a film off it. He's just mugged everyone up. He's living a lie. It's like David Sneddon. But no, obviously I see him because he's a local about. Josh Simpson, Scotty Nielsen, all the good guys. John Dempster, Scotty Shearer, David Hunt. He calls me whenever he's trying to sell something. So that's every 10 minutes probably. There was so many good guys. You got Tubbsy, who I speak to all the time. Craig McAllister. Just not Brody though. Don't want him back. He wouldn't get in any team.
Joe McNerney comes in the next question. Not sure how serious he's being, but quite witty. I mean, this comment on our tweet actually got more than half the likes of the initial tweet, so stole the show a little bit. But Joe comes in and he says, have you been able to maintain that terrific tan with the variable weather we've been experiencing at the moment?
Yes, Joe, I have. We speak. He literally lives around the corner from me, so we're Stonies together, birthday brothers as well. So he thinks my tan comes out of a can, which isn't the case. Like I said earlier, I moisturise, from a very early age, and that's why I get a lovely tan around the face. It's white underneath. It's just my face that gets brown because I'm outdoors all the time. It's just jealous.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. Maybe a bit of an envious neighbour you've got there. Mike Wheeler comes in with the next question. He said, how different is the skill and physical levels and technicality and tactical awareness of the all-round players that start in their careers today that you obviously see coming through compared to when you started your illustrious career?
Yeah, very much so. I think back then, the information that you got about other teams and how you would hurt them, tactically, has advanced so much. I think, back then it was pretty much off the cuff, go out there, work harder than them, and you win the game sort of thing. So now it's very much specific to your individual sort of positions and collectively as a team of what their weaknesses are and how we're going to go around to win the game. So it's a lot more information that you've got to take in compared to maybe 20 years ago, shall we say.
Yeah, just thinking about that, how has the commitment changed as you've gone through your career? Because I imagine there's been a lot more sort of backroom staff, like analysts and nutritionists and things like that coming in since you first started playing. How has that affected sort of your day-to-day as a professional footballer?
Yeah, I think looking back to when I first signed professionally at Wycombe, I think it was a manager, assistant manager and a physio, and that was it. And so, yeah, now at Crawley we've got Joel, who's the sports scientist guy, and he's on you 24/7. You're doing this. You've got to fill in forms left, right, and centre. You've got to report everything, and a bit of a ball ache really. I'd rather go back to the to the old school where I can just rock up and train.
All right, yeah. Well, it's a ever evolving game that we love so much at the moment. Stephen Dimmock comes in with the last question, and I thought it was a fitting one to finish. He said, "Would becoming a manager interest you in the future?"
Yeah, I've always sort of said no to management, because I think it's such a big commitment. It takes over your whole life. As a player, you have bad days and it ruins your Sunday. But I imagine you're switched on 24/7 with a manager. You've got so many balls to juggle. You've got so many ideas, jobs, this, that, and the other to sort of to think about. So I'm not a great thinker. So who knows? I've always said no, but yeah, I don't know really. We'll see.
Yeah. Have you got any plans for when you do eventually hang up your boots, or what path you'd like to go down?
I'm going to nick your job and annoy and interview ex-players. I think that would be good. You can do it in your mum's bedroom as well. It's great.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend's, but yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, I'll leave. I'll hang my cap on the door, and you can take the hot seat if you'd like.
Appreciate that.
Just another thing that I wanted to touch on, maybe to finish, obviously with one of the questions, just saying about the longevity of your career, and you might be modest about the luck that you've had not to have bad injuries, and that your joints are doing well. But I mean, it really stands out to me that someone of your age is playing in central midfield. Like, you see the odd goalkeeper enter their 40s and still playing at one of their best levels. But what would you put that down to? Just your longevity?
I don't do a lot really. If you watch the games, I don't really do a lot. I'm just sometimes there at the right moment. I don't clock up. I think with age comes wisdom, and you kind of know where the ball's going to go. So instead of sprinting there, you can walk there basically, and 2 seconds later it'll be there. So I think it's if you had the wisdom of a 40-year-old, and an 18-year-old, they'd be the best player in the world, because they could use their energy, their hunger, to such more sort of pressing matters. If they're in the right position. But players are often caught out of position because of their awareness, their experience, and I've got a knack of sort of knowing where the ball's going to be, where it's going to go, and slowly making my way there. And hopefully I can do it next season as well.
Yeah, we hope so too. Very, very modest words there from Danny. That's all the questions we got. I really appreciate your time and coming on. So yeah, just thanks a lot, and hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend.